Kieran Duffy is a character who emerges from the critically acclaimed video game Red Dead Redemption 2 as a figure that captures the essence of the human struggle for identity and acceptance. His story is one that resonates deeply with many, serving as a poignant reminder of the complexities of life and the often harsh realities that shape us. His life is a tapestry of complexities, woven together by the threads of tragedy, loyalty, and the quest for belonging. Born into a life of hardship, Kieran's early years were marked by tragedy and loss. His parents died of cholera when he was very young, a devastating event that left him orphaned and set the stage for a series of unfortunate events that would follow him throughout his years. His father had aspirations of becoming a farmer in California, but no one from the family ever reached the Golden State. This unfulfilled dream adds another layer of tragedy to Kieran's already complicated life. After the death of his parents, Kieran found work at stables, perhaps finding solace in the company of horses, creatures that offered him a sense of peace and normalcy in a world that had been anything but.
I smell like horse shit.
His affinity for horses was not just a job, but a passion, one that would later find him cleaning or feeding horses by the gang's camp.
So, what's your story, boy?
Horses.
Horses? How do you mean, horses?
Or, I used to work with horses when I was a little boy. After that, I was all alone, and the stables where I worked threw me out.
You'll always have the horses, Kieran.
I know where I am with them.
Well, go do some work then.
His life took another turn when he joined the United States Army, a decision that, according to him, didn't work out well.
I joined the Army, but that didn't work out well.
This led him to a life of crime, initially with unnamed outlaws who met their untimely demise, leaving Kieran alone once again. His loneliness and need for belonging eventually led him to join the O'Driscoll Boys, a notorious gang that gave him an ultimatum: ride with them or die.
They gave me a choice. Ride with them or die. So, wasn't much of a choice.
This choice, as grim as it was, offered Kieran a sense of community, albeit a toxic one. He was the bottom rung of the ladder in the O'Driscoll gang, a position that made him vulnerable, but also gave him a sense of purpose. Kieran is often described as a gentle buffoon, a man who is soft-spoken, nervous, and avoids conflict whenever possible. Despite his affiliation with outlaws, Kieran is fundamentally a kind-hearted individual. He has a good knowledge of horses and even prides himself on being a good fisherman. His personality is a stark contrast to the hardened criminals he associates with, making him a unique and memorable character in the game's narrative. His soft-spoken nature and nervous demeanor often make him the subject of ridicule within the game, but these traits also endear him to players and make his eventual fate all the more tragic. He is around 28 to 29 years old and has scars on his leg from a wolf bite when he was 13. Kieran's life takes a significant turn when he is captured by Arthur Morgan, a member of the rival Vandalin gang. Initially kept as a prisoner, Kieran gradually earns the trust of the gang and becomes one of them. He even goes on to save Arthur's life, further solidifying his place within the gang. However, his past catches up with him when he is captured by his former associates, the O'Driscolls, who subject him to torture and ultimately kill him.
What the hell have they done to me?
Look, there in the tree line.
Everybody take cover! O'Driscoll boys are coming!
His death has a profound impact on the Vandalin gang, particularly on members like Bill Williamson and Karen Jones, who are deeply affected by his loss.
Thinking we were a step ahead of the O'Driscolls.
I was almost starting to like that Kieran. And he saved your life.
His decapitated body serves as a brutal reminder of the dangers of the outlaw life and the price of disloyalty in a world governed by survival of the fittest. The character of Kieran Duffy has elicited a range of emotions and theories among fans. Many view him as a tragic figure, a representation of life's unfairness. He is seen as a good person who was never given a fair chance, a sentiment echoed in various online discussions and fan art. One prevalent fan theory suggests that Kieran had a romantic interest in Mary Beth Gaskill, another member of the Van der Linde gang. This theory is fueled by subtle interactions between the two characters within the game, offering a glimpse into what might have been a budding romance cut short by Kieran's tragic end.
What are you doing?
What's it look like I'm doing?
It looks like you're reading.
And I am, so why do you ask?
Just making conversation.
I'm sorry. I was being catty. I don't know why.
You're very purty. I'm sorry, I'm not being forward or nothing, but you are.
You're very sweet. Strange and horrible and an O'Driscoll, but sweet.
I'm not an O'Driscoll, miss.
Okay, whatever you say. I've taken a break. But yes, I plan to keep reading.
Is it, fun?
It's amazing. It's the reason worth living. It's the only thing that makes me happy.
So the only thing that makes you happy is being in your head somewhere else?
I suppose I never thought of it quite like that. You never read?
No, I never fancied it.
But you can.
Well, I could, if I chose to. I've just not chosen to.
Well, maybe one of us will teach you.
Another theory speculates on the emotional impact of Kieran's death on Bill Williamson. Some fans believe that Bill may have had a crush on Kieran, a theory supported by Bill's visible emotional turmoil following Kieran's death. This adds another layer of complexity to Kieran's character, suggesting that his relationships within the gang were more intricate than they initially appear. A third theory posits that Kieran's death is a reference to the Catholic martyr Saint Denis, who was also decapitated. This theory adds a religious or symbolic layer to Kieran's death, suggesting that his demise serves a greater narrative purpose, perhaps as a cautionary tale or as a representation of sacrifice and martyrdom. Lastly, some fans have speculated on why Kieran didn't just leave the Van der Linde gang when he had the chance. This theory suggests that Kieran's decision to stay was driven by a deep-seated need for belonging, a need so strong that it ultimately led to his downfall. This theory resonates with many who see Kieran as a tragic figure, bound by his own insecurities and the harsh realities of the world he inhabits. In conclusion, Kieran Duffy is a character who embodies the complexities of human emotion and the harsh realities of life. His story serves as a cautionary tale about the consequences of not belonging and the eternal quest for acceptance. Despite his tragic end, Kieran leaves an indelible mark on those who knew him, both within the game and among its vast community of fans.